Hello again and welcome back to my playthrough of Star Trek Resurgence. At the end of the last episode, or for a large portion of the last episode, we were playing as Carter on the Xeldi, trying to rescue Atasca, who was Major Arminta's second-in-command, maybe. And Atasca was with a bunch of other non-assimilated Alydians, right? So we went and got them, but man, then a battle came out, all the stupid Hotaris that are overtaken by the Tkons. They fought, and we lost a lot of Alydians. But the good thing is that they kind of realized, or at least I realized right at the end, that the Tkonians are not going to kill them. They want them alive so that they can assimilate them. So hopefully Dr. Duvall, I think her name is, back on the Resolute, will find a way to reverse what's happening to all these people, so that they can come back to being their normal selves, and everything will be great in the end, hopefully. But that's what happened. Oh, and then one thing that they realized at the end was that apparently, like, all the Tkonians can, like, talk to each other, I guess. They talked about, like, a host. And, once those... It sounds very Borg-like. Once all of those Alydians are... I hope I'm using that word right. I keep forgetting. Once they are assimilated, well, then the host Tkonian knows of their plans. So they know... Now the Tkonians know that of Carter and Arminta's plans to get to the bridge. So that's what's going on the Xeldi. And then right at the end of the last episode, we transferred back to the Resolute, where now we're going to see Jara and how she's going to handle things. She is pushing for notifying Starfleet, even though the captain does not want her to do that. So is she going to go behind his back? I don't know. Let's continue and find out.
Tylus, you should be in sickbay.
I'll finish this.
I couldn't just lie there knowing the entire fate of Hotari hangs in the balance. How did it go? You look exhausted.
I don't know, man. It was pretty rough.
I'm not gonna lie. It was pretty rough.
Oh no. That's what I was afraid of. I heard a rumor that they'd made a deal, that the Alydians agreed to peace. After what we saw Sidron do to the diplomat in the mines, I could hardly believe there was hope, but then... Is that true?
I think they're all Tkon. I think they are. It seemed that way to me.
I'm afraid the truth is far worse than that.
There's no deal.
No. They're all Tkon now. The Hotari, the Alydians. Everyone.
No. That can't be true.
I'm sorry.
Where will I go? I can't go back. I don't have a home anymore. Everything I've ever known is gone.
Hotari isn't lost yet. This is far from over. It will be your home again, I promise.
Thank you.
The Federation stands with the Hotari. You don't have to doubt it for a second.
Yellow alert.
Commander Rydick, we need you on the bridge immediately.
So, interesting response from Tylus there. You got a white or gray framed response. Tylus was devastated to hear the disturbing news from Hotari, but took solace in Jara's words of reassurance. So, maybe just simply telling her the bad news, elicited a not great response, maybe. Maybe the only way we could have gotten a good response out of her was to tell her, oh, everything's fine. I don't know. But I was kind of surprised to see that pop up because I thought we handled that pretty well. I mean, all things considered. Let's see what happens on the bridge.
We've got an Alydian ship, the Veskar, rapidly bearing down on our position.
Or what was the Veskar. Now I'm not so sure.
Bring it up on the view screen.
600 kilometers in closing. Still coming straight for us.
Whoa.
Commander?
Well, this is probably a waste of time, but
Have you tried hailing them?
Try it.
Hailing the Alydian ship now. No response.
400 kilometers in closing.
Shields up. Ready phasers.
Shields up. Phasers ready. Incoming.
Lock phasers and open fire.
Heavy damage. But deflectors still at full power?
That bypassed our shields entirely.
uh-oh.
That's impossible. God damn it, return fire. Everything we've got.
No.
Friday, modulate the shield frequencies. See if you can get us any cover.
Commander,
I've got this. Just keep firing.
Randomize.
Shields still have no effect.
That doesn't make sense.
I'll try another.
Invert it.
There!
We've got incoming. How do they keep matching our shield frequency?
They couldn't. Unless... They've compromised our shield algorithms. They can bypass our shields at will.
What?
Captain!
He's out cold.
Oh no.
Why'd they stop?
Damage report.
Running on emergency power. Major hull damage on decks 4 through 7. Warp core is stable and intact.
We're completely vulnerable.
Commander, we're being held by the Veskar. It's Galvin.
On screen.
Commander Rydak, where's your captain? Not dead, I hope. At least, not yet.
You're dealing with me. Is that a problem?
One inferior life form is as good as another. I have to give you credit, Commander. You survived longer than I thought you would. But make no mistake, your shields are useless, your weapons ineffective, and there's nothing you can do. I could destroy you at any moment. But I'd rather hear your pleas for mercy first. Your existence is entirely in my hands, and I'm not in a forgiving mood.
It's entirely possible you could destroy us. But the truth is, we're worth more to you alive than dead. Better if we report back to Starfleet about the power of Tkonian technology, and the futility of fighting it.
There might be value in that. I've been thinking about what you said, Commander. I don't think you'll find my threat so empty now.
The Veskar's weapons are powering up.
But I don't have to needlessly slaughter you. So I've decided to let you live. Because there's merit to the idea you're worth more to me alive. Tell your Federation that Tkon are as merciful as they are powerful. That you were fortunate to escape with your lives.
This isn't over.
I assure you, we've only just begun.
Ooh, he's not happy with us.
I've lost their signal.
Can you track their warp signature?
Nothing. It's untraceable, just like before.
Notify Ambassador Spock. I want everyone in the briefing room to discuss our options.
What's the status of the repairs?
Hull breach should be patched up in a matter of hours. Impulse power is at 67%. Should be fully restored soon.
Still no luck cracking Galvin's warp signature. They've all but disappeared.
Keep trying. Finding that son of a bitch is the best shot we've got.
Commander Rydick, you had the Tkon after the ship was attacked. What is your assessment, given our current situation and the losses we have suffered?
I'd rather not fight this alone. We need to call for reinforcements.
In that case, we might have an option. Portal 6-3, Guardian of the Tkon Empire. If anyone could find Galvin, it would be him.
That's assuming he's willing to help us.
True, but there's only one way to find out.
Wouldn't we need to secure authorization from the Federation Council to contact him?
The nearest Federation outpost is Andoria. I can travel there by shuttle and inform them personally of the threat from the Tkon. Meanwhile, the Resolute can travel to the Delphi Ardu system in search of Portal 6-3.
I still have my doubts.
I do not. Captain William T. Riker has first-hand experience with the area and with Portal 6-3. His guidance will prove invaluable and should alleviate your concerns.
Delphi Ardu 4 is a restricted zone for good reason. For all we know, we could be walking into a trap. Not to mention the high likelihood Portal 6-3's allegiance will be with the Tkon. It's just too much of a risk. A waste of time. Time we can't afford to lose.
Right now, we have no way of knowing where those two Alydian ships are, or where they're going. Another Tkonian might be able to at least point us in the right direction.
Or we're the ones pointing him right toward his fellow Tkon, making the problem worse.
I am inclined to agree with Commander Rydick. Her logic is sound. This portal may have knowledge that proves to be invaluable, including information on the nature of the Cartabula. We must act on the facts at hand.
Then we'll give it our best.
I'll arrange a meeting with Captain Riker.
And I will speak with the Council. They need to understand the magnitude of the situation. I can leave for Andoria immediately. I wish you luck finding Portal 6-3. The very future of the Federation may rest in your hands.
So I just got to talk again about how great that guy is doing voicing Spock. He sounds just exactly like Leonard Nimoy. It's so great. He's doing such a great job. And I think that the writing is really good too. I think it's very believable that Spock would say these things. I think the only character that I don't necessarily find believable is the captain. I think they've kind of made him a caricature. But at least they've given us a little bit of the backstory as to why he behaves the way he's behaving. You know, the mission before this one was also a bit of a fiasco. And so he's worried about losing his job and I guess losing respect. So, I mean, I can understand that, but he's just going about it all the wrong way, I feel like. Let's see, we had a reaction from Spock, I believe. Ambassador Spock valued Jara's strategic assessment of the situation after the Resolute was attacked by the Veskar. I don't think we got a reaction from the captain in there. Although, I guess maybe we did. Okay, I guess we did, because he's not angry anymore. Remember the picture before was him. He was like looking in this other direction. He was very angry looking. Captain Solano could see the reasoning behind Jara's rational approach to traveling to Delphi Ardu 4, despite his concerns they might be walking into a trap. So I had heard that Riker was in this game. That's another spoiler that I wish I didn't know about before I played the game. But it is something that made me look up the game when I heard that Riker was going to be in the game. Otherwise, I don't know if I would have played it. To be honest with you, I mean, there's been many Star Trek games over the years, and even though I'm a huge Star Trek fan, for whatever reason, I haven't played the games. Like even Star Trek Online, I've never played. So I don't know why. I just haven't. But anyway, it led me to play this game, and especially after watching and really enjoying Picard Season 3, it made me kind of, yearn for more of the Star Trek that I like. And boy, this really fits the bill. This is like an extra season of Star Trek: The Next Generation, sort of. I'm just really enjoying it. I know you guys are too from your comments. Let's see, what else did I want to talk about? So Spock is going to get on a shuttle, and he's going to go to a star base to try to get authorization to go to the place where that 6-3 person is. And then, but the captain's going to take the Resolute to Delta, whatever the place is called. I'm not sure where Riker fits in. Where is he? Are they just going to radio him or meet up with him somewhere? I'm not sure. We'll find out. But before that, we need to go back to the Xeldi. And you can see here we've got Carter and some Alydians here. I don't know. They're going to have to change their plans because, like I said at the end of the last episode, the Tkonians know what's coming. So let's see what happens.
It takes a minimum of 8 crew on the bridge to run the ship, so we can expect at least that many hostiles.
If they bioformed Hadri, they know we're coming.
Which means everyone needs to be ready for...
Oh.
Take cover!
Now what? We need that door sealed.
We can handle that. Where do you need us?
There's an access panel there. You should be able to patch into the local systems.
We'll be shot getting there.
I'll cover you. On my signal. Now!
Here we go.
Damn.
Oh.
Looking for the bridge doors. Wait, what's this?
Got something?
Gravity. If I invert the artificial gravity inside the bridge, that'll throw anyone on the bridge right up into the seal.
He'll never see it coming.
Itaska, get ready to charge.
Charge?
Forcing gravity polarity. Now!
Ouch.
Amazing.
Close in!
How do we get them down?
Oof.
What are we gonna do with them?
We don't have time to take prisoners.
So you're just gonna shoot him?
I haven't decided yet.
That's not just up to you.
I'm the ranking officer.
And we're not in your army.
These prisoners can be useful to us. But if you kill them, we'll never know.
I can live with that.
Well, I can't.
You're an engineer, not a soldier. This is clearly my territory.
You think you have enemy combatants here? This is a hostage situation. Each one of them has an innocent life inside. I'll keep watch on them.
As will I. We can't let our guard down around the enemy.
Petty Officer Diaz and I will figure out how to stop the ship.
Let's hurry. The rest of the Tkon could show up any minute. Crystals. They're all over this place.
Use your tricorder to investigate the Xeldi bridge. Let's do that. Probably can't leave the bridge. Nope, they're not going to let me leave. So let's start investigating things. Let's go over here and look at this console. See what it has to say.
This console looks unaffected.
That's true. There are no crystals on it. And we're supposed to use a tricorder, but I'm going to walk around and see what we can see before I whip out the tricorder. Oops.
Where's the captain?
Captain Ostego did not survive the atmosphere poisoning.
I'm sorry to hear that.
He died defending the Empire. That's how he'd want it.
More crystals over here, I guess? No, these are weapons.
Huh.
Careful where you point that thing.
It's not active. I can't see any way this would work as a weapon. It's dead.
Out of ammo?
Not sure.
You have to be part crystal to use it. Hey, Arminta, can we talk for a second?
Everything under control?
Yes, these Tkon haven't made a move. Yet.
And what you're doing is working.
There's plenty more I can do. But it doesn't have to be that way. As long as they behave.
Maybe we shouldn't be distracting him. Just a thought. Let's go talk to Ed Solar.
Any trouble?
Don't worry about me. Worry about Stretch over there.
Why?
He's looking for any excuse to vaporize the prisoners. But I'll make sure he doesn't. Even if they're the enemy, it's not right.
I'm here if you need a hand.
Just hurry up and figure out this bridge. That's the best way to help.
Yeah, quit walking around and looking at stuff. Do your job. That's what she's saying. Oh, neat. Look at this viewport.
Gotta figure this out before we get wherever we're going. If the Resolute can't catch up to us, we're in a whole different kind of trouble.
No, I have no idea what the sales numbers are for this game, but I hope they're good. I'd like to see more of this. I'd like to see a lot more of this. Whoa.
Two interfaces on top of each other.
Oh.
This is not Alydian programming.
That's a really neat looking screen. It's really nicely done, I think. We examined it. Let's get out the tricorder. Okay, so we're supposed to examine stuff, and, well, here's something to examine right here. Right in front of us.
These crystals are Tkon technology. They seem to be active, just like the rest of their tech. Tetrametric pulses.
Tetrametric?
It's the energy signature of Tkon technology. Everything they make gives off this type of radiation.
They're blocking the inputs. It's not responding at all. Everything I try, it just ignores me.
Maybe we should try that other console.
Good idea.
So am I still using the tricorder here? Is there still something for me to scan? No, there's no anomalies for me to scan here. It would tell me if there were. Oh, what was that, though? Crystal formation. Tkonian crystal growth infesting Alydian technology. The growth has disabled normal use of this console. The growth is receiving signals from another location. Okay. Well, I'm glad I scanned that. Could have very easily missed that. Let's see, looks like there's maybe something over here to scan as well. Let's go take a look at it. And then maybe just point our tricorder in different directions. Oh, there's something over there too. Just other consoles. Let's choose another one. Okay, anomaly targeted. Let's check it out.
It's the Tkon language.
From what I can tell, the ship's systems are actively responding to input.
Which is the opposite of how most bridges work. They usually send commands, not receive them.
It's from an intrusive program. This control station won't do us any good either.
Okay.
What have they done to this bridge?
Consoles running themselves, some clogged up with crystals that are sending off tetrametric pulses.
But none of this is sending signals outward. It's receiving.
They're flying the ship from somewhere else.
That should be impossible. But it explains why there's less than a full bridge crew. If they aren't flying the ship from the bridge, where are they controlling it from?
That's a good question. Let's see if we can figure it out. Get out our tricorder again. There's something else to scan over there. I'm just going to spin around the room here. Alydian control console. Console is operating via remote signal. Administrator permissions are disabled. That's the one we already looked at. Alright, let's walk over here to this console here. I have to go up these steps and go around, I think. We'll take a little jog over here. Navigation data.
Look here. It's navigational data.
We saw that already. Headed to the edge of the galaxy.
It's only a display. We couldn't use it to change course or alter speed.
Time for the tricorder. Whoops, I went the wrong way, but that's okay.
We're gonna be there in less than an hour.
We can't let that happen.
Hold on, it would take days to go this distance with our fastest ship. We're traveling at a warp factor many times greater than this ship should even be capable of. What are the engines doing to produce this kind of speed?
I don't know. Alydian navigation display. Xeldi engines are running at 127% of maximum output. This should be impossible, but Tkonian modifications to the vessel may have increased output limits beyond factory settings. It's good technology. They should maybe make use of that if we ever get out of this. I guess there's going to be yet another console. Yeah, there's one over there for us to scan. Alright, let's head over here. Scan this console.
The engine's a red line, running at full power. But this main drive manifold is spiking way over nominal levels.
Very dangerous.
Even at 100% output, the warp cores wouldn't push this much plasma to the drive section.
The reactor output matches the high speed, doesn't it?
Whether it's these crystals or the power from the Cartabula, the Tkon have found a way to increase the engine output and top speed. We have to find a way to hit the brakes before we outrun anyone who could help us.
We stop it, so they can't get this ship where they're going, and enact the next phase of their plan. That is, if they don't destroy us all first. I would have thought this ship would disintegrate going this speed. But somehow, that hasn't happened yet.
So what is their endgame? They've transformed individuals, they've transformed this ship, in a way. How far will they go?
As far as we let them. Their technology certainly doesn't seem to have limits.
I hate to think what the Cartabula could do if it was plugged into something it was meant to power. That's everything. We got some answers.
I don't like what they tell us, though.
If we can learn nothing else, then what's left is to make these Tkon talk. And if they don't, we'll dispose of them.
Hey, that's not how we do this.
That is enough from you.
Uh-oh. Good job. Oh, interesting.
I thought that thing was useless.
It was. No power. Until he touched it. Weapons must be bio-coded.
Our technology will only work for one of our kind.
I can assure you, this weapon works just fine for me.
Slow down, Arminda.
You can't control the ship with a disruptor.
But I can use it to control you.
Dude.
Let's talk.
So, a couple episodes ago, when we were on the Xeldi and we were teleporting the Alydians off of that ship through the shuttle and back over to the Resolute, there was a point where it was just like Carter and Ed Solar and a couple other people left on the Xeldi. And the Tkonian, Hotarians, and I guess Alydians were heading for the transporter room. And so there was this dude who was standing guard at the door, right? And he was killed. In fact, Miranda killed him. And I thought it was him because it looked like the same guy to me. But I've been told it wasn't him, that he's fine. where is he? I mean, where does this guy fit into the story? Is he still part of the story? I mean, we saw him at the very, very starting, where, Jara talked to him. And we've seen him on the ship a couple of times, but I don't know what's happened to him. I don't know whether he was overtaken by the Tkonians also, or if he's just back on the ship. I don't know where he is, but apparently he's not the one who Miranda killed. So I just wanted to point that out while I was thinking about it. As far as what happened back there, let's see, we're with Carter now. Did anybody have any reactions? I don't think anybody did. Yeah, so no new reactions to Carter here in that last little segment that we just watched. We still don't know who's flying the ship or how or from where, so that is something that needs to be found out. How much did the Tkonians hear of Carter and Itasca talking to each other? Because if it is true that that what one of them knows, all of them know, and if they heard Carter or Itasca say they're flying the ship from somewhere else, well, then they all know that they're looking for them now, right? Don't know if that makes any difference or not. Let's go ahead and resume. Ooh, number one.
The Titan's communications officer says Captain Riker will be ready in just a moment. You need to see this. The report on the data breach.
Damn. It's worse than I'd hoped. They didn't just compromise our shields. They stole the shield algorithms for all of Starfleet as well. Meaning every ship is potentially vulnerable to attack, making this so much worse than it already was.
Given the potential consequences, we should notify Starfleet as soon as possible.
I don't disagree, but I'll reach out to Ambassador Spock about it. I don't want to cause a panic, and I doubt he does either.
I have Captain Riker for you.
Let's not mention any of this shield business to Riker just yet. Put him through. Captain Riker, this is my first officer, Commander Jara Rydek.
My pleasure.
Sir.
I wish we were all meeting under better circumstances.
So do I, although you and I have actually met before.
We have?
I was a young lieutenant on the Potemkin. You were first officer on the Tuckerman. I piloted you and our science officer in a shuttle to survey quantum resonance in the planetary rings of Residius 6.
Ah, yes. Now I remember.
You know, he gave me some good advice that day about a very difficult job. Yours.
Well, I'm not one to turn down some words of wisdom, sir.
And let me ask, as first officer on a starship, where does your responsibility lie, first and foremost? To the captain, the crew, or the ship itself?
Oh, this old chestnut. I am curious to hear what she says, though.
I'm being quizzed. I think it's to the crew.
Ultimately, my responsibility is to the crew at large.
The needs of the many. You have been hanging around Ambassador Spock. But the truth is, it's a trick question. Every situation is different, and there are no easy answers. And in some cases, it might not be any of those three. It could be the prime directive, or the mission.
Yes, so perhaps we should get to the matter at hand. When you were with the Enterprise, you encountered a Tkon entity known as Portal 6-3. The Enterprise was held captive in orbit until you were able to convince him to let the ship go.
All of which is detailed in the mission report.
What we want from you is what we can't get from the report. What can we use to get Portal 6-3 to help us?
I've often thought about that over the years. How a small difference in the encounter could have led to disaster. The most important thing is, don't let him push you around. He can appear as a man or as a godlike projection. He'll test you. But don't be overwhelmed by the pageantry and theatrics.
I'll stand up to him. You can trust in that.
Good. But that's just the first step. Portal is full of bluster and bravado, but he can be reasoned with. And that's my other piece of advice. You want to appeal to him rationally. You don't want him thinking you're acting out of fear.
But we are afraid of the Tkon, and with good reason.
He's not the sort to suffer fools. And he'll lose interest if he feels his time is being wasted.
I suppose that's one thing we have in common.
Do you think he knows that the Tkon have returned?
He didn't even know they were gone when we went there. But the moment the Enterprise dropped into orbit around Delphi Ardu 4, he downloaded the entirety of the ship's computer. So I'd expect the same when you get there.
What if he won't cooperate and we have to face these Tkon ourselves?
Then we have a much bigger problem on our hands.
What I mean is, in the 16 years since you discovered this outpost, there has to have been research. Battle plans for what to do about the Tkon if we encountered more of them. I need to know what they are.
If I had that answer, it would have been the first thing I told you.
We both know Command has had their share of hidden plans in the past. Like Admiral Hansen and Captain Shelby's Special Projects Division at Starfleet Tactical, devising new ways to take on the board.
Trust me, this isn't some Starfleet conspiracy to keep you in the dark. But if you two don't think you're equipped to make contact, you need to tell me now. Because there is no silver bullet here. Now's not the time to hesitate.
You're not the only one who's met the Tkon anymore. We've faced them in combat. We're not just the right ones for the job. We're the only ones.
All right. Asked and answered. There was a special task force that considered the Tkon, and I was part of it. But because there were no other signs of the Empire, we determined the best course of action was to create a restricted zone around the Delphi Ardu system. I have my concerns, but I'll clear the way with the brass for your travel into the restricted space. Just remember what I've told you. And it wouldn't hurt to read some Sun Tzu en route. Or Marcus Aurelius.
Anything else?
Machiavelli?
Thank you for your support, Captain Riker.
I wish I could be there myself. But my first officer would probably see to it that I stay on the bridge while they get all the excitement on the away mission. The burdens of command. Rest assured, the Federation is taking this threat very seriously. You won't be alone out there for too long.
Thank you, Captain Riker.
One more thing. Ambassador Spock said that Tkon stole some data from your central computer. What's that all about?
We're still assessing the extent of the breach. Nothing to report as of right now.
That's it? Ambassador Spock suggested it was something more serious.
Gosh.
Which is why I'm asking.
One thing we know is that they stole Starfleet shield algorithms.
The shield algorithms? That could jeopardize every ship in the fleet.
We're still making sure our assessment is accurate. We don't want to raise alarms unnecessarily.
This is as real as it gets, Solano. I have to talk to Starfleet Command now, so I think this conversation has come to an end. I really do hope you get Portal 6-3 and find those Tkon before this gets out of control. Riker out.
I specifically said I wanted to keep this under wraps. I thought we had an understanding. Now all of Starfleet will hear about this.
Considering this is new information Ambassador Spock doesn't have yet, I figured Captain Riker would be the closest to communicate directly with Starfleet Command.
Now the cat's out of the bag. I have to think about the damage control of it all. You're dismissed.
I tell you, I'm surprised that he didn't relieve us of duty. Right? I mean, he directly told us, yeah, I don't want him to let him know about the shields just yet. And, I mean, we had the opportunity to go along with him and be like, yeah, we're still assessing it. But, come on, this guy, he's just, it's like every move he makes is wrong. But, like I said, I'm surprised he didn't relieve us of duty. I'm just sitting here being all totally insubordinate, basically, right? Even though I feel like Jara's on the right side, and everything that I'm having her do, I feel like is the right thing to do for Starfleet and for the crew and the ship and everybody, including Solano. But he does not feel that way, and you can see he's angry with us again. Captain Solano was enraged when Jara told Captain Riker the shield algorithms had been stolen by the Tkon and wished she had respected his desire to keep that information under wraps. I mean, I don't blame him for being upset, but he's wrong. Let's see, Captain Riker. Captain Riker was struck by Jara's confidence when discussing seeking help from Portal 6-3, and he was glad Jara was honest and transparent about the shield algorithms being stolen. And I mean, come on. You're going to keep information from Captain Riker? I mean, come on, it's Captain Riker. Let's resume.
It's the automated Federation warning buoy. Transmitting the disable code Captain Riker provided.
That was unpleasant. Commander Ermont, what are the conditions of our systems?
All internal systems operational.
Commander Westbrook, what are your scans of the planet?
Nothing out of the ordinary.
No sign of this outrageously powerful Tkon being?
I'm running a magneton scan now, but so far, nothing.
Where are you? Prep your way, team. We don't know if Portal 6-3 will cooperate. He's not an asset, he's an enemy. So be ready for anything.
It's a big away team.
Prove you're worth keeping alive for a little while longer.
I cannot stop this ship any more than you could stop the tides.
Not good enough.
The impotent threats of a lower life form do not sway me. I will not bend to you. I was born 600,000 years ago. But a new age dawns today.
Are you the scion of the flame?
My name is Zan Udlosa. I was born in the final days of the Age of Makto. And we are all scions of the flame. Every one of us who have traveled across the bridge of time to be here for the Great Awakening. We have all sworn ourselves to the cause.
Eventually, one of you will break.
You don't understand how overmatched you truly are. This craft was nothing before we imbued it with the speed required by our mission. And the Cartabula produces enough energy to drive an entire fleet of ships like this one. But when we wake the Alydian, we won't need a fleet.
The Aphelion?
Only then will you understand the might of the Tkon Empire. Reborn in this time. This is just a drop in an ocean of power you cannot even imagine.
And when you wake the Aphelion, what are you going to do with it?
Anything we want.
Come on! This goes from bad to worse unless you do what they say.
Uh-oh.
Alive.
You can't stop the ship.
Then he will. Or we cut off his hands and use them ourselves.
The moment I reduce speed or change our heading, the others will know. First, they'll just resume course from elsewhere. Trivial matter. And then, they will come here. For you, this is a dead end.
I think we could deal with it.
That's a risk I'm willing to take.
Not if they're just going to start it again.
So you believe him?
I'm not sure.
Why would you tell us all this?
I tell you because I value my own life. When my fellow Scions come, and they will come, I expect you'll all act like the savages you are, and a battle wounds. We've all died once. I don't intend to do so again. I won't touch those controls. If you want to get us killed, do it yourselves.
You fear death. There's a way to stop this ship for good, and he knows how. He just needs more pressure.
What kind of pressure?
We hurt him, he'll talk. Trust me.
That's against Starfleet protocol.
You're not on a Starfleet ship. Your protocol does not apply. We take the action that will lead to our victory. Don't assume your moral code takes precedence above all others.
I'm not gonna torture them. Not like this. There's gotta be something we can work with here.
Yeah, there's no way Carter's going to turn into this person who breaks people's arms. Let's see what we could look at. Let's look at engineering.
This area here?
Power generation. The warp cores.
It's deserted. What's this?
This display shows the location of the Tkon on the ship. This is where the infiltrators are, the central artery of ship systems. Sensors, propulsion, weapons. Doesn't seem to be working here.
This is weird. Going this fast, it would be too dangerous to force a warp collapse by cracking one of the propulsion coils. I could rupture the hull, end up damaging the Cartabula in the process.
And that risks tearing a hole in space.
We can't have that.
Engine status. Right. The warp cores are still practically redlined. However they've supercharged the Xeldi, it still relies on existing systems.
They just amplify the output?
But the Tkon have already interfaced with those systems. The controls will be no use. So we'd have to find a way to manually shut down the warp cores.
Might not be a manual shutdown as much as it'll be sabotage.
No one appears to be guarding it. I think I can get us there. But once we're in, do you really think you can cripple my ship? Not something I'd normally ask, but I'm coming around to it.
You just worry about getting us there. I'll handle the rest.
This plan of yours has one problem. It strands us. Left out of the fight when there is a war going on.
Our fight is here, now. This is how we do the most good. For the Empire.
For the Empire.
So, Carter, you didn't beam out after all. I thought you'd escaped when we boarded. I'd almost hoped you'd made it off. And Nilly's there with you too, right? It's good you two are together. I know you're here, Carter. Your technology is so simple to us. You're not a fighter. I know it. You know it. That's why you're hiding. Somewhere on this ship. But the Tkon Empire has so much to offer you. Think of all the knowledge lost for 500,000 years that you'd have access to. I know you want more from life, and I want to show you what you could be a part of. Not just the wonders you've already seen from us. In our time, we had the power to move stars. Carter, you have a thirst for discovery. And a part of you would remain to experience the things I can show you. But if you try to fight it, you're only gonna make things worse.
Oh, I thought that I had the option of not responding. Well, apparently I have all the time in the world to respond. We're part of the Federation, man.
In case you forgot, we were a part of something. I still am. The Federation may not be perfect, but it stands for ideals that your people clearly do not believe in.
We have our own ideals. And we have our own strength. Every one of us on this crusade has fought wars more brutal and consuming than you could fathom. But I want to reach a peaceful resolution to this. Carter, we have a plan for you. And for the others, too. We don't want to have to destroy you.
You think there's some sort of compromise to be had here? After all you've done? The only end of this is when you surrender.
After all we've done? You can't think we'd give up now. We can continue this conversation in person. I'll see you on the bridge very soon.
Our comm badges. She's tracking our location with them.
If we have to use force to free our fellow Scions, there will be casualties.
We can't stay here. And we need to disable the transmitters.
Where'd you go? You don't want to talk to me?
She's trying to keep you talking.
I mean, I get it. But I'm trying to help you.
Miranda didn't like that. Cool. Get to see the inside of a comm badge.
Got it.
Mine's done too.
Time to hit the road.
You've forgotten something. They know where we're going.
The look on his face. Oh!
Set to stun.
Oh.
You're not going to shoot a guy who's unconscious, are you?
You keep getting in my way.
We've managed this far without doing it your way.
We are hardly in control of this situation.
You two forget you're on the same side? Come on!
The look on her face. Should have done that a long time ago. All right, if you look at what time it is, you know, unfortunately, it's time for me to end this episode. I know you want more. I want more too. Really enjoying this playthrough. So, Miranda gave them a really important piece of information there when she started blabbing her mouth like bad guys always do, right? Just simply by talking to Carter, it told Carter and Edslar and Arminta and Itasca that they're being tracked by their comm badges. So, you know, all they got to do is disable the comm badges, and now they can move about freely. However, Miranda was on her way to the bridge with at least some Tkonians. So what's going to happen when they get there? I guess there's nobody left there now, or were there other people up there too? Can they revive their stunned Tkonian comrades? I don't know. I guess that's not important. What is important is that Carter and Edslar and Arminta and Itasca, they're all heading for, I guess, the warp core, where Carter's going to do some kind of sabotage to it to slow it down or stop it completely. That's what's going to happen next. Miranda did not care for Carter's attitude. Miranda was saddened when Carter wouldn't accept her offer to join the Tkon, which was made worse when he refused to respond to her. Poor Petty Officer Maris. Major Arminta was disappointed when Carter refused to let him torture the Tkon prisoner to get the information they needed. Edslar was relieved when Carter refused to go along with Major Arminta's plan to harm the Tkon prisoner. And nothing new from anybody else. All right. Well, looks like the next episode we're going to be on the surface of that planet, and we're going to talk to 6-3. I meant to write that down, what his full name was. I don't know why I can't remember that. Anyway, we're going to go down on the surface and talk to that guy, see if we can get any information from him. We need to remember not to let him push us around and to appeal to his rationality. Those were the two things that Riker told us. That was his advice. So we need to remember that, and hopefully I'll remember that in the next episode. Well, once again, I thank you guys for joining me. Really enjoyed reading your comments. You guys have some good thoughts about the story, and I can tell that you guys are enjoying this just as much as I am. So thank you so much for joining me on this playthrough. I hope you join me again, and I know you will, in the next episode.